So Mnangagwa has not been in good books with the war veterans. Numerous times war veterans have decided to take Emerson Dambuzo to the court, especially on matters relating to the land, the way Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa has handled issues of land reform before. At the moment, we understand that Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa is in charge of the judiciary system of Zimbabwe. But with me here, I'm carrying a watertight case. The war veterans are not aiming at numerous government departments, but the war veterans are actually waging a war with Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa as well as the Attorney General. They left out Ziambi, who is the Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. They decided to go after Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa as well as Virginia Mapiza. I would actually be reading their case in detail. And if the war veterans wins this case, it means the judgment would say Mnangagwa violated the Constitution. And if a president violates the Constitution, that is a treasonous actually a charge, which means the president post his presidency can actually be charged with treason. So also this should explain the perception of the war veterans when they look at Mnangagwa. They are looking at a treasonous president. Greetings and welcome to channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So these following war veterans have decided to take it upon themselves to go after Mnangagwa and the Attorney General of Zimbabwe, Mapiza, head on. The list of the war veterans who took these decisions are Ruben Zulu, the first applicant, Godfrey Kurira, second applicant, Shorai Nyamangondo, third applicant, Joseph Chinyangare, fourth applicant, Dick Moore, Knowledge India, fifth applicant, and Joseph Chingua, sixth applicant. And the application is specifically against the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and also the Attorney General of Zimbabwe. So these are the two targets, and they are represented by the esteemed lawyer, that is Lovemore Matuku. Now, let me read part of the application. Whereupon, after reading papers filed on record and hearing counsel, it is ordered that the application is granted. It is declared that presiding over so this is what the declaratory order that they want. It is if they win this case, it should be declared that the presiding over and or chairing cabinet deliberations and processes pertaining to Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 and being party to the approval by Cabinet of the aforesaid Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, the first respondent failed to fulfill his constitutional obligations set out in section 91, 92B, and 196.2 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, that is the Constitution of 2013, that they want to mutilate. The third, also as a consequence of the declaration in paragraph 2, if it is declared, it should be declared that all the deliberations and processes of cabinet pertaining to Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 and the approval by Cabinet of the aforesaid Constitutional Bill Amendment number 3 are null and void and of no force or effect. The fourth declarator that they are seeking as a result and equitable order under section 1756B of the Constitution, it is declared that any constitutional amendment, transitional arrangement, or continuation in office mechanism that has the purpose or effect of extending the tenure of or conferring incumbency benefit upon a person who held the office of president before amendment is invalid and of no force or effect in respect of that incumbency by operation of section 3287 of the Constitution. And what they are also seeking from the Constitutional Court as a further just and equitable order under section 1756B of the Constitution, the first respondent is interdicted from signing, assenting to, promulgating, advancing, or otherwise giving executive effect to a constitutional amendment bill number 3 or any substantially similar instrument in any manner inconsistent with the order and the Constitution, including section 67 and 328. There shall be no order to cost. So this is an application brought in terms of section 1672D of the Constitution of Zimbabwe and Rule 32.1 of the Constitutional Court Rules 2025, promulgated under Statutory Instrument 19 of 2025. The gravamen of the application is that the first respondent had failed to fulfill his constitutional obligations imposed upon him by the Constitution. So if the War Veterans wins this case, automatically Mnangagwa would have been declared a constitutional delinquent. In particular, this is an application alleging a failure by the president to fulfill constitutional obligations, which by operation of Rule 26.1D of the Constitutional Court Rules does not require the obtainment of leave and falls squarely within the exclusive jurisdiction of this honorable court. 7. The constitutional obligations in question, that is, the constitutional obligations I contend have not been fulfilled by the first respondent and therefore forming the basis of these applications are the constitutional obligations to uphold, defend, obey, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the nation and ensure that its obligations are faithfully observed. This is in section 91 of the Constitution. The constitutional obligation to recognize and respect the ideals and values of the liberation struggle. The statement of retired General Chueng still find life in this application. This is section 92B of the Constitution. 7.3. The constitutional obligation to conduct himself as a public officer so as to avoid any conflict between the personal interest and his public or official duties. This is in section 1962 of the Constitution. So Emmerson Mnangagwa, if found guilty through this court application, as I have said earlier, that he would be rendered a constitutional delinquent. So war veterans have got a watertight case in my view, and Mnangagwa is caught. And it will be interesting, especially to hear the decision that the Constitutional Court judges will arrive at. We know that at the moment they are controlled by Mnangagwa. These are processes and procedures that have to be followed, but we know Mnangagwa that he has captured all these justices, and the probability of actually making it in this case, in my view, is known because of the nature and the character of Emmerson Mnangagwa. But the war veterans don't want to just give in without a fight. Definitely they will give him a fight. We expect a lot of political drama as the situation actually unfolds. Tender diabetes offices Today, the police were sent to intimidate him. It's a lot kuningi that is happening at the moment. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us.